Okay, we're here for the library board meeting for November 9th, 2015. It's 5 o'clock. As many of you might notice, we do not have a chairwoman. Ms. Green is absent today, and one of the first things on the agenda is to nominate a vice chairman. That typically the vice chairman would stand in the place of Chairwoman Green, but being that she's not here, nor do we don't have a vice chairperson, I'll have to conduct that portion of the meeting, and then I will turn it back over to whoever is elected as the vice chairman. Calling the meeting to order, I'm looking and we do have a quorum of voting members. I am not part of that quorum. With all that being said, I'll open up the floor for motions to nominate a vice chairman to the Vergne Library Board.
I'll make a motion to nominate Glenn Green as vice chairman of the library board.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed?
You opposed?
No, I guess I can vote. I can vote,
All
right?
right. Okay, yeah.
Just gonna be opposed.
It appears that the motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Green, as the vice chairman. I'm going to turn the meeting over to you to finish conducting.
Okay, right in there. I guess the second item on the agenda is a motion to, do we need to approve the minutes?
You do.
Okay. We need to approve the minutes from the library board meeting held on September 14th and for the special called library board meeting held on September 24th. And those meetings are in your packets. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Move that we approve the minutes.
I've got one thing. On the 14th, everything I read through is correct on the 14th. On the September 24th meeting minutes, there are two items. The first one is on page 2. It's the very bottom. It's a question from Miss Felicia Anderson, and it says for cost is what she was asking. What I was referring to was for cause, not for cost. And then on page 7, there's a paragraph up at the top, which is my language, and in the middle of it, it basically states, so there is a 30,000 piece of equipment, which is referring to a monetary value. That should be roughly 3,000, not 30,000. Those are the only two items I saw in there.
Yeah, I guess with that, with regard to the first one, I'd ask Mr. Garrett, I appreciate the clarification on it, but I guess this is just approving it as to its content, and if that's what Ms. Felicia said, then I guess there would be no reason to change that. However, the minutes from today will reflect that you've made that clarification. But as to your second one, if you don't believe that that is a correct statement, if you actually did say 3,000 piece of equipment as opposed to 30, and this is actually a clerical error or mistake, then I think that the board could, assuming that the board wanted to, approve the minutes subject to that change, and then whoever keeps the minutes could go and make that change. Is that?
Yeah, my understanding, and looking back at my notes, that it is a $3,000 piece of equipment. It's not a $30,000 piece of equipment.
Okay.
And I have not gone back and rewatched the previous session, so I don't know if I actually stated 30,000. But if I did, I wanted to make the correction that it's not a $30,000 piece of equipment.
Sure. I guess just procedurally speaking, I guess that that would be a motion by you to amend the previous motion to make a change that you just said, if that is in fact what was said. So you would approve these subject to that change if it does in fact need to be changed.
Okay, well, then I would like to make that motion.
And it would need a second.
Second. Makes sense. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item number 2, motion to send a favorable or unfavorable recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen in regards to the lease for a public access coin-operated printer, a copier, I'm sorry.
And before we make a motion, I have checked with our attorney, and I would like to come up and just address the board very quickly, if that's okay. Looking back over our past 2 meetings and going over all of the details, I want to say I do appreciate how detail-oriented that you are, and some of the red flags, Dan, that you brought up were noted, and it is appreciated What I would like to say is this is a copier, a self-serve copier that we would, if at all possible, have for the library, for our patrons. We make approximately 8,900 black and white copies a month and approximately 2,500 non-color copies a month. Now, that also includes some of the copies that we send from our computers, but I was out on the floor about 2 weeks ago, and we had a lady come up who had several papers. She's a social worker and was needing to make copies, very personal copies. She wanted to make sure that they were in the correct order. And Tammy started with her, and then I completed this particular order that she wanted us to do. And it took us close to 20 minutes. We had to get the copies, go back in the back, copy them, take them back. She sorted and gave us another copier. So having the self-serve copier does help as far as time-wise. Can we continue to do it? Absolutely. Will we continue to do it? Absolutely. But it would be a great asset for the library to have this. I do understand that we want to make sure our contracts are the very best that they can be. This contract, of course, has been gone over very, very well, but we have worked with MTR many, many years. We will continue working with MTR, I believe, as long as they win the bid and the contract. So I just wanted you all just to take in consideration. I will definitely uphold any decision that's made. If it's to be tabled, I understand that. If you could find that we can send a favorable recommendation to the BOMA, that would be appreciated also. But I just wanted to kind of let you know where we stand. We are a service to the community, and unfortunately, there are these boilerplate contracts out there. I did talk to MTR. They cannot and will not change any of the wording. So wanted to let you all know that. Do you have any questions for me? Right. Thank you so much for letting me address you.
So did we just make the motion or the?
Well, if I understand it correctly, there's been no motion made now. However, the agenda item has been called, and staff has reported to, I guess, on the developments since the last meeting and staff's thoughts. And so I guess it's open for, the table's open for discussion and or motion, whichever.
Well, I'll make a motion to send a favorable recommendation to the board of mayor and aldermen in regards to the lease for the coin-operated copier.
I'll second that motion.
And so now, technically speaking, you have seconded motion, and table, if there's any discussion that wants to be had on that motion,
Okay.
you all can discuss it.
I'd
Is there any
like to
discussion?
just say that I understand that it is a necessity that we get it over there for you. I don't want to try to put up a blockade for you. Definitely, it's an amenity that needs to be provided. I still don't agree with the contract as it is. I understand that we don't have any other function here other than to push something forward to BOMA. So just having said that, I'm going to go ahead and say that I vote against it, but we need to go ahead and push it on so we can move forward. So
And just to clarify, I guess for the record, was your motion with regard to both contracts that are on here? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
so we
I think we need to choose one of those leasing contracts. There's two in the packet. We had the Great American one, and then
there's one for 99,
The,
99, and then another one.
But the one company we use more is the Garco?
Garco.
Okay.
it was more expensive.
But it's the one that
Slightly.
we're more familiar
Yes.
with, right? Okay, let me look at this.
With that being said, that was unclear to me. If there is a particular one, you might want to amend your
Okay.
motion that would have to get seconded again.
Okay.
The Garco contract,
That-
It's right before the
Yeah, it's
Great
right
American.
here. I'm on there now.
for a 60-month lease is $129.99 per month. And then the Great American lease is $99.99 per month for a 60-month lease. And Garco is the one that we do have
have.
our other printers and
Printers for.
copiers through.
I'll make a motion to send a favorable recommendation to BOMA in regards to the Garco agreement for the coin-operated copier.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 No.
They used to say nay back in the day. But
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, that motion passes. Item number 3 is FYI Library Board meeting dates for 2015-2016. Ms. Donna, you want to take that?
Yes, we have 3 more library board meetings for this fiscal year. It will be January the 11th, 2016, March 14th, 2016, and May 9th, 2016.
Okay,
Great.
I believe that concludes our meeting. We'll call it adjourned.